right, every year, baby. This is the biggest game of the season, and we like to have fun, but um, I want to act as if we're ovulating already here, guys. Let's just jump into it, man. No, uh, no foreplay, none of the kissing of the neck like you do, BK. None of that. Steve, whatever it is that you do, Steve's a foreplay king. I know it. I could see it in his eyes. None of that. Let's just get right into it. And it's Bills, it's Chiefs, it's Bills week. Look at you, Steve. Stop thinking about the foreplay. Just get right in it.
I you really nailed it.
I know you are. But this time I need us to go right.
No back rub, no nothing, huh?
No. Go
Okay.
right. We're going right in. And like I sense you have BK, you have some up in the air, confusing thoughts about this game.
I'm conflicted, Ron. I'm conflicted. On one side, this game means everything. I think people need to realize, because I needed to check, the Chiefs are the 7 seed right now.
Like, on a technicality.
If the Chiefs lose this game, they could once again be on the outside looking in, heading into their bye week to make the playoffs. Like, eventually wins do matter. You have to rack these things up. And if you lose this game, you're sitting at 5-4 at your bye week, with games looming on the road at Denver and at home against Indianapolis. Listen, I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. I think they will get to the playoffs. I think they will win the Super Bowl. They can lose both of those games. And if you do, you basically become last year's Bengals, where it's like, hey, man, you might be good, but you have to win football games to prove it. And on that side of things, it's really important. On the other side, though, I don't know if this game matters at all, because even if they lose, Ron, I think the Chiefs are making it to the playoffs. And if they make it to the playoffs, I will pick them in every round, no matter where they play. So I'm struggling right now, because I've heard some people talk about how huge this game is. And I've heard others talk about how, like, rest everybody that's even remotely injured, just get to the bye week, and then you pick things back up as you get to Denver. You're above 500. You've accomplished everything you need to. So I need you to help me out here. How much does this game matter?
Yeah, BK and Serda and the people. I don't want to mince words or make this sound like I'm on the fence or anything. So I'll be very direct. This is the most important regular season game in the Mahomes era. Like, if you look back at it, right, there has never been a year in which they have been in it this late and the playoffs, potential missing of the playoffs, was on the table. Right? They're just not they're in third place, guys, in the division. Like, I know right now, BK, that they look and feel like the best team in football. The only team in the National Football League that is top 5 on offense and defense. They have given up 24 points total in the last 3 games. And that's the Lions, the number 1 offense when they played them in it. Hell, they still might be. But they have just destroyed everybody. Yep, 4-1 in their last 5. I know in all of that. But also, that stuff's real. But as you said, the other part of real life, all you described, they're in third place in the division. Right? They can win on Sunday and remain third place in the division if Denver and the Chargers win. Right? Like, they are still, as you said, 7th seed. They're only at the 7th seed because Jacksonville had a bye. And they have one more win. They do not have the tiebreaker with Jacksonville, right? They've already got, this would be their, 3rd AFC loss if they were to lose this game. Like, this is very much the most important game that they've had in the Mahomes era. As I said, man, they're in 3rd place. They are barely hanging on to a playoff spot. And as you said, they lose this. They then, yes, go on their bye, but they're at Denver. Hell, they got Denver twice, Serta. They got the Colts, who are playing as the best team in football right now. They've got the Chargers still left on this. They got a funky, weird game against the Cowboys, who is going to give them everything they've got. Like, they still have spots where if you're like, you lose this game, now you're sitting at 4, and it's like your margin for error is whatever. You win it, then you're 6-3, and everything's on the table. From the 1 seed to all of it, everything is potentially on the table. But, like, until they get themselves out of this, and I think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm certain they're going to make the playoffs. Until they get out of that, like, this is a different ball game than what they've had to deal with. I think they need this game just as much as Buffalo does. And I get the whole mental thing and everything. I think they, as you said, at some point you got to win enough games. Like, and like they're in. Like, they win the game, they're smack dab in the division race and probably the favorite, right? But they lose it. You're sitting here at 5-4, and yo, hey, this thing's getting dicey, right? So I think this is the most important game that they have, regular season game they have had to play since Patrick Mahomes has been their quarterback.
I think I'm perfectly in the middle. Like, because I could see both cases here.
There is no middle.
Yes.
There's no way that this doesn't matter.
No.
What's your middle?
Obviously, it matters tremendously. I think it matters more than any regular season Buffalo game in the last 5 years, like, easily, right? Because I over the last 3 years or 4 years, like however many in a row in the regular season, the Chiefs have lost to the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs simply do not care about this regular season matchup that much. They go, they play hard, they try to win the game, but they get Buffalo's best shot every single time. And we know for a fact that the Chiefs hang back on some things that they want to save for January when they know they're going to play Buffalo again. And that's why they've had that success against Buffalo when it matters the most in the playoffs. I think this one does matter more than your typical regular season matchup with the Buffalo Bills, because of the Chiefs' sluggish start. And I would feel a hell of a lot better if it wasn't for that shitty Jacksonville game. Like,
yeah, if that Jacksonville game didn't happen, we would be, they would be 6-2. This would be a completely different conversation.
But they ate that loss, and they deserve to eat that loss. And so it does change the math of this game. And it does make this game more important than any regular season matchup that they've had with Buffalo in a long time. But at the same time, like, the Chiefs are playing so well right now that I'm like, kind of like, well, I think they're the best team in the NFL despite their record. And as long as they play like this, I'm confident they can beat anyone in the league. But then also they have that first half against Washington last week that was really frustrating and stupid. And then in the second half, they were like, oh, okay, we'll play like we're the best team in football. And they absolutely dominated from the first snap of the second half until the final snap of the fourth quarter. And it's like, you have to play that way for 4 quarters against Buffalo. I do think that they will step up and play because they know what the atmosphere is like. They know what the stakes are going into Buffalo and facing that particular team. But at the same time, like, I'm trying not to get overconfident that this team's playing so well right now that I'm like, oh, I feel like they can just run the table. Like, I think that they understand the stakes of this game. I think that they're going to show up. I don't think they're going to be as sloppy as they were in the first half against the Commanders. And I think that we're going to see like an elite level type of performance from them because that team is fully capable of it. And we have seen it now in spurts. We saw it for a full game 2 weeks ago. We saw it for a half last week. And they got to put it together for 4 quarters this week to get it done, in my opinion.
I absolutely think they could run the table. But there's also the deal of, all right, if they lose this sucker, it's not crazy to believe that they will. If they lose this sucker, there's the realization of, hey, man, well, hold on, man. I know I believe they're the best team in football, but they're 5-4. Like, whoa, through 9, right?
And Ron, I think you've convinced me on this. And the reason why is because I think what ends up happening is if you lose this game, it just starts becoming a math problem. Like now the Bills have the tiebreaker on you. The Jaguars have the tiebreaker on you. What looms is a game against the Broncos where, dude, if they beat you, like everybody suddenly has a tiebreaker on you because the Chargers won that first game against you. And now you're looking at it's like, okay, so the Patriots are 6-2 right now. The Bills at that point would be 6-2. You've got to have the winner of the AFC North in. The Colts are making it. The Jags have the tiebreaker over you. The Broncos and Chargers, if again you lose the next two games, would potentially have tiebreakers over you. That's 7 teams in the AFC.
And you're racking up AFC losses, which messes up your tiebreaker situation even against teams you haven't played.
So to get in, it screws you up. And also, like you guys have mentioned the possibility of them running the table. There is still an outside shot that the Chiefs can get the 1 seed because they have this game head-to-head against Buffalo, who's in the running for that, because they have a game coming up against Indianapolis, who is very much in the running and right now would be the leading candidate to get it. So you can add losses onto the resumes of these other teams in front of you. So not only is it important just to get in, but also to reach the pinnacle of what we all hoped this season would become. It's still out there for the taking, and it requires you to get this game. So for the floor of the season, it's a huge game. For the ceiling of the season, it's an even more important game. There's really no scenario in which this isn't a big game. So you've convinced me. I'm on that side.
It is a really weird situation, but like you will feel like I've talked about this on the Nightly Fix this week. Serda, they win this game. I think the conversation of, hey, all year long, there's not really a great team in the league. There's just a bunch of good teams that all have warts. If they go and beat Detroit like they did, and then do what they've done since Rashee Rice has returned, and mind you, they may do this, and they still ain't at full strength on what we thought was the biggest problem on their team, the offensive line. They're going to be better on the offensive line. Remember, their toughest opponent, it might be the Lions in this game. If they were to win, will have beaten them without their left tackle. And they may have to do without their left tackle and their high-paid guard. We'll see what happens. So, I mean, like you would walk away from it thinking, all right, the league would be thinking, yes, these jokers are 6-3. And as I said, they could still be in third place in the West at 6-3. Right? They're 6-3, but these jokers going into the bye are the best team, the only team that we think is great around the league, or as you just, laid out, math problem. I was thinking this, and I'm wondering from both of you. Because if we've seen the trend of the season, they've certainly won games a certain way. Do you feel like you need to see them in a close game? Do you feel like you need to see them win a close game? Because this year, all of their losses, they've got 3 of them, all of their losses was just the complete opposite of what we've seen over the years from this team. And it's like, yes, they beat the hell out of teams, and that's what they've done in all 5 of these wins. All 5 of these wins, unless I'm wrong somewhere, are all double figures. And I mean, and I don't mean just 10, right? Like they are
13, 17, 13, 31, 21 in terms of their margin of victory.
Yeah. They've been winning, but then they've lost. They had the weird game where they couldn't finish against Jacksonville. They had an odd game where they just made all the mistakes against the Eagles, and they lost that game. And then the first game was just very odd, but still mistakes towards the end. You need to see that.
No, I don't at all. I know this team is more than capable of winning that way. Like I trust Mahomes, Andy, Spags. If they get into a close game, whether it be against Denver, against Indy, maybe it doesn't happen until the playoffs. I'd be surprised. But whatever the case is, I don't lack trust in that regard. If this was like early career Pat, I didn't have a ton of data points on him, and we didn't really know about the defense or any of this stuff. Like they didn't have the championship medal that we've seen from, the vast majority of this roster now for the past 7 years. maybe I would have more questions about it, but I don't have any concerns whatsoever. I know it's been weird to start out the season, but that's more about mistakes. And like the Jaguars game is basically, it came down to a fluke pick six or a bad decision on a pick six. I don't have any fear that that's going to be something that happens with regularity.
And the reason I don't need to see it too is because like, yeah, that Jags performance and these other losses this season, like those are the outliers for this team. Like those aren't, like, we know what they can do when it matters the most and when they have to go get it done. But that doesn't always work out that way in the NFL, and the Chiefs were due for some regression as far as that.
They had a lot of them.
Right. So like they were due for some of that stuff to catch up to them a little bit. But I think when the stakes are at the highest and they need somebody to go get it done, Patrick Mahomes is going to go get it done, like on the biggest stages. So like, I don't need to see that right now. What I want to continue to see right now is them just dominating teams and saying, and like announcing, like, we don't care what our record is. We are the best team in the league right now, because we can nitpick the defense and stuff. Like, I still think the defense is really good. And I think the defense is good enough right now, especially if this is the offense. And then we're talking about going into a bye week off of a big win potentially. And then we get to see, like, what do they come out of the bye week with? Like, that gives Worthy another week to really get healthy. And I don't think he's been healthy since the first 3 snaps of week 1. And then, and find ways even more than they already have, which seems crazy, to incorporate Rashee Rice into the offense, because he's only been in the offense for 2 games so far this season. Like, I'm excited for them to get to the bye week and see how they tinker with things coming out of it. But it would be awesome to do that, like, on the back of a dominant win over a good team like the Bills.
All right, let's do as we do. Chiefs have the ball, and they have been humming, and they've looked as close to the best offense we've seen them in this. They have been rolling here lately, and they are going up against what is the Achilles heel of the Buffalo Bills, and their defense has struggled. We've watched them anytime they played anybody worth a darn, they give up big plays, yards, whatever. And that's clearly where they struggle. And they really struggle in one particular spot. And I know this is the talk a lot of people are talking about, man, when you see what Atlanta did to them, what Baltimore did to them, what the Patriots did to them. They have the 31st ranked run defense in football. And this feels a lot like the Baltimore game earlier in this year, where the Baltimore defense and their run defense, they had a lot of injuries. Oh, yeah, Ed Oliver's out of this game too, by the way. Their best defensive player, I think. And some of their linebackers are not healthy, 100% healthy. This feels like the Baltimore game, where it's like maybe the Chiefs should really take advantage of that issue that the Bills have in this game.
I think they should try to run it, but I feel less confident in that because of the Pacheco injury. Like, if Pacheco was healthy for this game, I would feel comfortable running it, 20 times combined with him, Brashard Smith, plus Kareem Hunt. I'd feel totally good about it. But with Pacheco likely missing this game, I'm not doing that with Brashard Smith and Kareem Hunt and whoever else they decide to make active on Sunday. No,
Mitchell time, baby.
Yeah, he's been a guy they're not comfortable with giving carries against, like, the Raiders. I'm not doing that against Buffalo. So it totally changes the way that I'm planning for them to execute the game plan on Sunday. I think this is going to be about airing it out. And I know that the Bills defense has, by numbers, been good against the pass so far this season. I don't know how much to put stock in that, Ron, because the Ravens never had to pass. They gave up 240 yards on the ground, so why throw it? They also went up against the Jets offense. I don't know how many people have seen them throw the football this year. The forward pass is tough for them. The Dolphins are an atrocity. The Saints just benched their quarterback. The Patriots had a ton of success through the air against them. And then you have the Falcons who ran for 210 on them as well. And then last week you had whatever the hell that was against the Panthers. Like
they threw the ball well against them too, though. Michael Penn, go look Drake London. They couldn't do anything with him.
So I don't think their pass defense is actually good. I think it's just they've gone up against offenses with the Ravens and the Falcons in particular, who they would rather run the ball. And they're the only teams out of really 2 of the 3 that can throw it with any kind of regularity. The Chiefs should be able to throw for 300 against this defense, Ron. They just don't have good players on the defensive side of the ball this year. So whether they wanted to run it or throw it, I think they were going to have some success. But because of the injury situation, I think they're going to go into this thing expecting to throw.
I think it's been apparent, like, coming into the season that, like, the Bills should have done what the Chiefs did a few years ago, which was like minor reset of the entire defense. Like, we still got our star in Chris Jones, but we know we got to get younger and we got to draft and develop guys and we got to hit on some draft picks. And then when we do sign free agents, they gotta make a difference. And Buffalo, seemingly for years now, has had a defense that I think, in large part due to the coaching, was even performing above the level of personnel that they had most of the time. And those guys aged out. And for some reason, they keep running it back with a lot of these guys to the point where, like, Jordan Poyer is back on the practice squad and, like, flirting with getting on the active roster at this stage of his career, because they just keep running it back with all of these guys. And like BK said, it's like, I know the numbers probably say that they're better than we think they are personnel wise, but this isn't a good defense. And this isn't a defense that has gone up against elite caliber quarterbacks. And like, not even getting into the offense too much, but it's not the same kind of offense on that side of the ball either. But the defense specifically, it's like, yeah, like the best quarterback they played this season is Drake May. And I think Drake May is great, but the Patriots still have a lot of room to grow. And there's a lot of things that the Patriots need to do to really get to where I'm going to consider them like a real team in the AFC. But I think Drake May is a fantastic player. They have not gone up against anybody other than Lamar in week 1, when Lamar was having a very nice game. Like, and that's week 1. And we know week 1 in the NFL season is just weird in general. Other than that, they have not gone up against anybody that can just dictate the game against them. And Mahomes is the first quarterback that they've really faced that can totally do that to them. And I think Mahomes is going to be able to do whatever he wants against this defense.
Ron, let me put this another way. Tre'Davious White was one of the worst cornerbacks I saw in the NFL last year. He was horrible. He's playing nearly 100% of their snaps this season. Yeah. And he is one of their starting corners. So, yeah, they can be had through the air.
Yeah, they can miss me with that number 2 pass defense. They're not a great pass rushing team, and it gets tougher because Ed Oliver is out. I mean, I'm not going to say that Bosa and Rougeau and those guys aren't great, but they aren't good. But this isn't like Denver, right? This isn't Houston where they're going to just kill you rushing the passer. And then on the back end, they like to play zone. And as you said, they can't put Tre'Davious White and others. Maybe Benford. Those other guys with the weapons that the Chiefs can run out there. To Cole Bishop, I mean, maybe you think he can cover Kelsey 101. Okay, but still, like they're going to have 2 or 3 just mismatches at all times. They got nobody over there that can handle 4, and I don't think anybody can handle 1. And then Hollywood and Tyquan Thornton, if they get action, they're going to hurt their other corners if they go man, and if they go zone, they're just dead. I mean, so to me, just don't overthink it. And I get the feeling Andy won't. Don't overthink this thing. All right. Yes, they suck against the run. They do. But you also have Patrick Mahomes. All right. You ain't putting this damn thing in Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, even if he was out there, Rashard Smith or whatever. Just as I've said all season not all season, but since really the Baltimore game, which has been the greatest thing to me, is they are no longer trying to do and have everything dictated by the other team's weakness. They're just going out there and doing what they do. They did what they did against Washington. They just do what they do. And by the way, it's a great feeling. And by the way, what they do is have a top 10 run offense. They're ninth in football. They're ninth in the NFL in rushing, right? And that's with everything that they do. They are ninth with 26 plus yards a game. Just do what you do. Do what you do.
The running stuff is funny because it's like, because we get so fantasy football brained about all this stuff. If the Chiefs just had one running back who was getting all of their rushing, they would have a really good running back, but they're using 3 running backs. And so collectively, it's all good, but everybody's like, their running game sucks because they don't have one guy who's doing all
it. You know, it infuriates me because you hear it every week. They're still trying to. I heard Manti Te'o trying to talk about why he believes the Colts are a better team in the AFC, and maybe they are. But he gave different things, talking about the Colts have their run game. They've got the best run game in football, and the Chiefs are still trying to find their way. They're not. Man, these dudes are getting 12 to 14 carries a game, and they're getting 126 yards a game rushing to go along with that pass offense. So, I mean, just do what you do. You ain't got to try to do that next year. There is no reason to take the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand more with those weapons. No.
Well, to Serda's point, last week against Washington, your running backs, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Rashard Smith, those 3 guys, if you just made them into one player, they ultimately on the day had 24 carries for 102 yards. Like that would be a good day. You'd feel good about that. They also had a touchdown on the day.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're unsuccessful. They're just not putting up crazy numbers because they're splitting up the carries the way that they have so far this year. And then
when you add what Rice will do, what Worthy chips in, and what Mahomes chips in, is exactly what they need.
The running game is fine. The running game, as we said last week, it's the jab. As long as you've got it and it's effective, you're fine in that area because you've got a quarterback right now that's playing at a legitimate MVP level.
Yeah, you don't have to overthink this thing and try to change who you are because they're so bad against the run. Okay? Just do what you do every week. And by the way, you just spoke of Mahomes. And I agree with you. He is playing at a level that is in the MVP years. And in fact, just because of how these awards are won and how like big moments that everybody sees can happen, I think Mahomes can win his 3rd MVP on Sunday. I think right now he is to me clearly in the driver's seat. Right now, the way that, Baker has kind of slowed up a little bit, and some of the other guys, and Drake May is not winning an MVP over him right now, not when he's playing this well. And if they have, and he has another one of those games, like he has these games like he's been having, I mean, my man is out here just rolling 3 touchdowns a ball game here lately, like it's nothing. And if he continues to be the best player on the field like he has been, he is going to win and put himself in position to win his 3rd MVP, because this will be the moment that everybody remembers. And fellas, I think there's a real argument that if you take everything that we're seeing and you mix his knowledge and his feel and everything for the game that he has right now at age 30, I think this is maybe the best Patrick Mahomes that we've ever seen. What we're witnessing right now, really since Worthy returned, this feels like, and really even before Worthy returned, like I think I think he was amazing in the Chargers game. I know Justin Herbert did what he did. I think Pat may have been the best player on the field that day. I think the Eagles game, he could have been better. But outside of that, man, he has been, and some of the weird stuff in the first half with the Giants. But outside of that, he has been clearly at another level to me from everybody else. And I know his first year start, and he had the 5,000 yards and the 50 touchdowns, and we've seen some crazy years. But this, to me, when you combine everything, like, I mean, he looks like he has all the answers. All the answers. He knows what he's doing, what you're going to do, and it is like that peak talent meeting peak experience and understanding, and it is scary.
And that's the way that it's supposed to be. He's 30 years old. Like, this is supposed to be the prime of his career. We were supposed to be in this starting basically from 2022 up until a couple of years from now. Typically late 20s, early 30s is like the peak of a quarterback's powers. And so we're in that right now. And the last couple of years, they just didn't have the personnel to be able to take advantage of it. And I think what you said, Ron, is so important because you're seeing elements from his game from all of the different seasons. Like the early deep ball that Patrick Mahomes had, it's returned this year. And it's maybe not as effective as it was early on, but I wouldn't expect it to be because you don't have Tyreek Hill streaking down the field now. But it's there, and he's hit it enough that opposing defenses have to respect it. And that's all you have to do. If you get to the point where they respect it, well, now they've got to get those safeties deep. And that changes what's available. You've seen this over the last couple of weeks for Travis Kelce and for Rashee Rice, where they're able to go underneath. They're able to get those yard after catch opportunities. Dude, look what was there last week for Travis Kelce regularly. He's just sitting in zones. Mahomes finds him, and he's got like 15 yards to operate after he catches the football. It's insane.
The play where he was clearly just in to block, and then Kelce realizes that Mahomes can't find anybody, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll leak out real quick," and rips off 40 yards. Like the defense was just like, "Oh no, Travis Kelce's not somebody we got to worry about anymore. We got to worry about all these other dudes out here." Like, it's been a long time since the Chiefs have been able to do something like that. Like,
so
it's really cool.
The deep ball's making that possible because it's opening everything else up. So you have that element of it. You've got his legs, which is just a huge piece of what he's been able to do over the last couple of years because it's their last resort. He's like, all right, over my dead body, we're winning this football game.
It's been better this year. Like, it's the best. It's the best. Like, for me, you talking about plays. To me, it's like it's the play where he does the full hop over Kinlaw's arms that then injured him. And then he shoots a fadeaway to Noah Gray in the middle of the field for a first down. Like, we're getting like his on schedule and off schedule plays are so close in terms of success rate that it's much closer than you like. Josh's on schedule and Josh's off schedule are really good, but they're not like hitting about every time. Pat is like, he's killing with you quick stuff to Juju, killing you with quick stuff in the offense, manipulating in the offense, and then out of the pocket when it breaks down. His success rate's really high there too, right? You talked about the one to Kelce. I talked about the one to Noah Gray. He had one on a second down and 17 or something. The one where Rashee ended up getting the personal foul penalty. That was it. Break it down, and bam, he hits it. He is playing at a level I don't think we've seen yet.
And it's the personnel meeting up with where he's at in his career. Because you've got the people that can take advantage of the deep opportunities, right? You've got Worthy, who we haven't really seen a ton of that with, but the speed scares defenses. You had Thornton early on in the season able to provide that for you. You've got Juju and Rashee who can go across the middle. You've got Kelce who knows exactly where he needs to be against these zone defenses. And a piece that we have not talked about yet, they've got an offensive line that's giving him time. He feels more comfortable, even when he is pressured at times this year, which still has happened. There have been moments where he's getting pressure in the pocket. he feels comfortable, and so he's able to maneuver, and he's not artificially almost creating that pressure for himself where he's like, all right, 1, 2, gotta go. And that's what he felt over the last couple of seasons, where even when he did have time, he assumed the pressure was going to be there, and so he wouldn't continue to stay in the pocket. So it's the personnel meeting up at the exact right time with where Mahomes is at in his career. And you're seeing elements from every offense that he's seen or that he's performed in so far this year, all coming together in this 2025 group, which allows him to put on a show. And it's the best version of Mahomes that we've seen. It's the most well-rounded version of Patrick Mahomes that we've seen so far in his career.
I think this is the best put together offense that he's had in his career. That includes 2018 and 2019. Because even like in the Sammy days, like in the Sammy Watkins days when he was healthy and he was making plays for this team, and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were playing like future first ballot Hall of Famers, they just didn't have the depth to attack every area of the field that this offense has right now. Like, I think the stuff that we've seen from Hollywood Brown, even though like he hasn't, and like Hollywood Brown and Tyquan Thornton are like the forgotten guys in this offense right now because they just don't always need them to do stuff. But then it's Juju. Like, hey, 3rd and 12, who's old reliable over the middle? Juju Smith-Schuster for 2-3 catches a game. Like, who's going to go out there and do it for you? And then and I still think Worthy, again, is not healthy and isn't playing close to like his potential right now. And I think the bye week's going to go a long way for Xavier Worthy and what he can do in this offense down the back half of the season. And then we're just scratching the surface of like what they're doing with Rashee Rice, because like basically the way they're utilizing Rashee Rice is like prime Travis Kelce, and then they still have Travis Kelce. Like, and Rice is more versatile because they're putting him in the backfield and doing all of these crazy looks with him. Like, I just don't think they've ever had this many chess pieces on the offensive side of the ball. And then you factor in all of the growth that Mahomes has had to do as a cerebral quarterback over the last several years. Then you marry it all together with the fact that he can still be the most devastating deep passer in the NFL. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, this is scary, and I mean, spoiler for prediction a little bit later on. I think it's hard to see that this Chiefs team doesn't have a lot more success offensively scoring points in this game. Like, it is hard to see if they don't help the Bills with turnovers, which they always thrive upon. They should be in good shape. All right, when the Bills have the ball, I cannot believe that I'm saying this, and maybe I'm tripping. But when I look at this game and what the Bills have and what they do and how they can hurt the Chiefs, I feel like the Chiefs are in a better position if Josh Allen has the ball in his hands more, especially to drop back to pass. Hell, even if Josh wants to do design runs. Like, there is concern to me about his scrambling or whatever, but to me, James Cook is the one that changes the offense and the math for them. And to me, if Josh Allen is having the ball in his hands more, and that to me means we can kind of dictate, know that he's going to have the ball in his hands more. Like, if you tell me Josh is going to drop back, 35 to 40 times, I think that is a win for the Chiefs because, yes, he's a great player, and they've got some dudes. Shakir is good. Dalton Kincaid is a good player. They've got some dudes, but consistently, their passing game compared to the Chiefs' pass defense, their secondary, their back end, Spags blitzing, because I think he especially believes Spags was all out blitzing with AJ Green or AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on the and he said, here, Noel Williams, you got AJ by yourself on an all out blitz. He's got that level of confidence. He damn sure gonna have that level of confidence with the cats they're running out there for Buffalo. So to me, making this a throwing game for Josh Allen. Of course, as I said, they're going to hit some things, but I don't think Buffalo can consistently move the football and score points if their passing game is the way that they have to go. James Cook, when they run James Cook and then they get to dictate when they want to pass it and do their quick little stuff, that's a different thing. But if James Cook doesn't have success and they put it over there on Josh in the passing game, I really love the Chiefs' chances.
I'm willing to go to a degree there with you. Josh still scares me with his arm, mostly because of the matchup that he potentially could have in the slot, but we'll get to that here in a minute. What really scares me when Josh has the ball, though, is the fact that he's a threat to run. I mean, Ron, I'm going to give you his numbers running the football against the Chiefs in his last 7 matchups against Kansas City, okay? 11 for 59, 11 for 68, 12 for 32, 10 for 32, 12 for 72, 12 for 55, and 11 for 39. In that stretch, he has 5 rushing touchdowns as well. He's putting up running back numbers against the Chiefs on the ground. Like, those are Isaiah Pacheco rushing totals from this season. It's 10 to 12 carries every time that he goes against the Chiefs, and it's somewhere between like 35 and 75 yards with potentially a touchdown. That's what we expect out of Isaiah Pacheco, and we're happy with it for him to get that on the ground. So when he has the football, yeah, when he's throwing it, it's not as scary as it has been at times in the past. But really, when you think about it, he hasn't killed them with his arm over the last few years. It's the running game that he has added that crushes them, and it's in huge moments too. So that's the thing that really concerns me a bit is, yeah, when he has the ball, you maybe feel better than when Cook has the football, but his legs are just such a concern to me. That's what bothers me about this one.
I think it's the most frustrating part about playing the Bills. And I think this was what was so frustrating about that Jags game, because I think it was clearly something that they diagnosed, like something that they learned from film and something that they said, hey, Trevor, we need you to go run tonight. We need you to use those wheels, dude. Because Trevor did it over and over again. And so the Chiefs defense couldn't get off the field. And that was what was so frustrating, because when I was watching that game, I was thinking about that. It's like, feels like when you play the Bills, like we've seen this from the Bills over and over again over the years, where it's like Chiefs are right there. Just need a big stop. Third and 12. And you're like, just go get him. Josh Allen takes off and rips off a 20-yard run. You just get pissed. And like, yeah, his ability to do that, I think, is always going to be there. We saw the Chiefs, spy Lamar Jackson and do a little bit more of that. I don't think they're going to do that as much with Josh Allen. Like, I would like to see them do that a little bit. And I think they have the personnel to do that better this year. But I do think that what works in their favor is like what Ron was talking about, like personnel wise, they're not an explosive offense. They're a dink and dunk offense. They're a get guys into space and win after the catch offense, like the Chiefs have been for a few years now. And then James Cook is helping all of that by being one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL this year. But the Chiefs' run defense has still been good. Like I think the Chiefs can slow all of that down, but BK is right. Then it just is a matter of like, okay, just get off the field on third down. Don't let Josh Allen dominate those third down situations and win with his legs. And I think they can win these wide receiver matchups all day with their secondary. Like, I think their secondary is straight up more talented than the pass catchers that the Buffalo Bills have.
So a couple of things you said when you brought up the Trevor thing. I think the difference is, did you all walk into that game thinking, all right, man, we got to make sure Trevor doesn't kill us with his legs?
No, like, I think that's a Liam Cohen thing. Like, I think Liam Cohen has Spags' number a little bit. Like, I think Liam Cohen just really knows how to play against the Steve Spagnuolo defense.
I would also say, like, we've seen this now, Ron, for 5 years with the Chiefs and Josh Allen. He's gonna run, and it's gonna be effective. Like, I fear it not only because of what the Chiefs have done so far this year against rushing quarterbacks, but also the history of Josh Allen against this Chiefs defense, where he's, running consistently for 40 to 50 yards.
I'm just saying the biggest thing that pissed me off about the Jags game is they just never adjusted. They never did anything to be like, all right, this is a thing here in the third quarter. The fourth, like this is a thing. Trevor is clearly like we got to treat this like Josh Allen. We got to treat this like Lamar, right? And to me, when the Chiefs have played teams where they felt like, all right, coming into it, we know quarterback run is a thing. Like Lamar is the one who's hurt him the most. And I'll be honest with you, like there were big moments of the game of him running the football that the Chiefs made big plays on. And Lamar's going to get some, right? Right? Like he's going to get some. He's going to run and complete some passes off, but he had 48 yards in that game. I mean, I'm not saying that's not bad, but Lamar can carve you up and really hurt you. Jalen Hurts, who hurt him in the Super Bowl with his legs and generally hurts teams, he had 15 yards because I think they knew going into it. Mariota last week, he had 20 yards rushing, right? I don't think they'll be surprised. I'm not saying they're going to stop Josh, but I think they're going to be surprised and know that's a part of it, a big part of it. And to the point that you made, Serda, I think they feel much, much more comfortable now, probably since they had Snead and McDuffie. But even the Bills receivers were better then. I mean, you're talking Diggs. They were even better then. I think now Spags has a lot more confidence to leave some of these guys on islands or leave them on islands and have more eyes on Josh when he comes out and runs. Right? Like I think there is a difference there. There's sometimes when we see Josh run, BK, it's like he's got 12, 13, 15 yards for anybody touches him. So like it's a scary thing, but I do feel better to me that they're more equipped to be able to handle that. Because right now, I'm telling you, I'd push the button. If you tell me 40 yards right now, I'd push the button. And also, again, not to let the cat out of the bag, I think the way the score in the game may go, Josh running the football, okay, all right, have your 8, have your 7. Is that going to get you enough points doing that in this game?
Yeah, the thing that scares me is the slot situation. You know, like that's the one question that I still have is Shamari Connor returned to the slot last week. It didn't kill him, but it was frustrating to watch because he's been playing so well at deep safety, and he's been playing there primarily.
These are self-inflicted scares.
Shakir's too shifty for Shamari.
just do what you got to do. The most snaps in the slot that Trent McDuffie has played so far this season was against Detroit, where they had Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't think that was by accident. Maybe it is as simple as they're saying, hey, to get through the full season, it's kind of like a 3 who can play stretch 4, but doesn't really love doing it, or like Anthony Davis, who doesn't love playing the 5, right? So the regular season, they're going to play him at the 4 so he doesn't have to bang down low as often. Trent McDuffie is basically doing that. It's load management throughout the season. He's going to play outside for a lot of these matchups, but when you get against the best dudes, you're going against Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going up against this week Khalil Shakir, and they don't have any good outside receivers. Put him in the slot. Let's see what that looks like.
Even last week, like I could see like the physicality of Debo. You may think to yourself, maybe he has a better shot, but no, his ass better be at safety. Blitz his ass. Have him as a spy. Like his ass better be at safety. I'm with it. All right, sir, to go ahead and grab me my music. This is the game that is sweeping the nation, certified or imposter. I have so many people asking me on the streets of social media, what's this week, certified or imposter? This week, they do, Steve. They do on the streets, man. 4 or 5 people over the years have asked me that.
It was very Trumpian. I don't know where it came from.
I'm just telling you. It really is sweeping the nation. Brian B. Shining asked me what it is, what he tells me about our certified or imposter. The number 1 seed is critical for the Chiefs. The number 1 seed is critical for the Chiefs, certified or imposter, Serda.
I'm gonna say it's imposter. Obviously, it would be nice. I would love for them to have home field advantage, but I don't think any road in this year's AFC is as tough as the road that they went through a few years ago to get to a Super Bowl, and I think this team's better than that one. So I'm gonna say it's imposter.
Completely agree with what Serda just said. It's imposter, and it's because of what you potentially have to go through as your road. I've seen this team, not this exact group of players, but this organization go through a tougher road to the Super Bowl, and I think this team's better than the one that was able to do that. They're more well-rounded. They've got a quarterback that's playing at a higher level. They've got an offense that's more potent. I don't care if they have to go on the road at all. The bigger frustration there would be not getting the bye and just having another 50-50 game, but I think they would win it. So imposter for me.
I'm gonna say imposter, but I think winning the division is kind of a thing. I think get to me the 2 seed, like I'd be good to guarantee at least 2 home games. That would be at least, or at least 1 home game, because as much as we said they didn't have 2, they at least got Miami at home first for an easy win to kind of dip their toe in. I don't love. I would not count them out, and I think they could beat anybody. But I don't know that I would love, all right, hey, let's kick this thing off. You're going to Pittsburgh first or Baltimore first. And then you're going to go on the road to play New England, and then you're going to go on the road to play Indy. Like, I don't know that I would. I mean, I think they could get through it. I just don't know that I would love that. So, winning the division, I think, is crucial. Getting a home playoff game, but yeah, home field is not. I would be A-okay, and I bet you some of those guys would be all right weather-wise if they had to go play in Indy in the AFC Championship game. I think they would be all right going to jump in that dome. All right, this is the biggest game of the year in many cases for the Chiefs, although it's like their 5th biggest game of the year. They've already played so many of these games. What's up? Prediction time. What you got in this game, BK?
It's interesting to me that they went from being an underdog in back-to-back home games to being a favorite on the road at Buffalo by 2.5 points. It's just, it speaks to the strangeness of this season, and they're doing this now despite the fact that they're without Isaiah Pacheco, probably without Trey Smith, without Josh Simmons again. It's just what a wild year this is. I do think they win this one. I think they go on the road and they beat the Buffalo Bills. I trust their offense to get this thing done. I think they're back to what Ron used to love about the Chiefs, where they'd go on those Warriors type of runs. They have like 3 or 4 consecutive drives where it's touchdown, field goal, touchdown, boom, game over. I think they have that capability again. So I think the Chiefs win this one. I think they win it 34-27. Win and cover on the road at Buffalo.
I'm pretty similar to BK. I think the Chiefs are just better than the Bills right now. And I think the Bills have been helped by some schedule, and I think that some of it too is like carryover from last year. Like, I'm just not convinced this Bills team is as good as the Bills teams that we've seen in recent years. And I just think the Chiefs have a lot more talent than they do right now. So I still think Josh Allen is going to put up some points, and he's going to test you, and he's going to give everything that he has to try to go out there and try to beat the Chiefs again in the regular season. But at the end of the day, I just think that they're a better team right now. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win 34-24.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat. I think the Chiefs are going to score, and I think this time I don't know that the Bills can score with them, especially against the Chiefs defense. Quiet as kept throughout all of their issues and their annoyances, and God, you wish they rushed the passer better. They're the number 2 defense in football. They've given up 7 points in the last 2 weeks. All right. And they've been really good against the run for the most part in games this year, and that's been the strength. I got it the same thing. I got it 33-20 to 21, in this game, 33-21. I'll go with the Chiefs, and I think we get a look in the thought of like, all right, this is clearly the best team in football. This game feels like it's going to go a lot to me like the Lions game did. And I don't think the Bills are as good. All right, we are out.